Hello guys, this is Alexandre Zar, and in today's video I'm going to show you the components which I have for the brand new suspension on my W204. It's an estate chassis, so I've bought Eibach lowering springs, this box. I've bought the rear shocks, these two. I've bought the front shocks, which are these two, and also the accessories which are over here. These are all brand new parts, and yes, let's get started. This is how they are supposed to look. The front springs are coilover type, and the right one and the left one are the front shocks, and the two middle ones, these two are the rear shocks. The rear shocks are not coilover, they are just installed separately of the spring. Part numbers are these ones, okay, for the front and for the rear, and these are the springs. Okay, and now we have the following accessories. These are front flanges for the coil springs. Part number has changed for the W204, and it's changed to the E Class part number. You can see it's A212 and coil spring shim, and they look like this. These should be the front shims for the bottom side of the spring. A204 321 0184. These are the two front bottom shims, which go somewhere around over here and over here. These are the top side struts and roller bearings. And then we have for the rear shocks, bump stoppers, covers, and the rear lower side. These are two shims. You can see they're packed in the same package. These are the bottom spring shims, A204 324 0184. Same over here as well. The bump stop and the covers. Let's recapitulate. These are the bump stops for the rear shocks and also the covers. And these are the covers with bump stops for the front springs. Over here, these small boxes, we have the top strut mounts for the rear shocks. Same here as well. The part number for the rear top struts, it's 36477, and for the front mounts it's 29478. And for these ones, I forgot what are the part numbers. I think these are for the front, just gonna guess. Yeah, PK 301. Might have mixed them, but I'll try and put proper part numbers in the description of the video. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask, and let's get started. Okay, so in this part of the video, I'm going to present how to load the spring onto the shock absorber. You basically, for this application, you need to have two spring presses. So this is for the inner one. I'll show you in a bit why you need that. And this is for the outer reach of the spring. This is because you can't fully compress this spring just using this type of press, due to the fact that it doesn't extend as long as it would need to be extended. And the shock absorber is quite small. It's a sport shock absorber, and it has a very short reach, and basically you need to pre-compress using this press and then switch to those ones. I'll show you in a bit. The other accessories which you need are the outer protection, the stop bump, the bottom flange, the top flange, and the rubber protector for the spring. One more thing which you need to know when installing these types of springs, you basically need to install them with the writing upside down, something like this. That's just because of the fact that this bottom side of the spring mates perfectly with the mating surface on the shock absorber, and this top side of the spring mates perfectly with the top strut mount. I'll show you in a couple of seconds how we preload the spring using the inner press and then switching to the outer ones. Okay, so this is the setup. This inner press, we will tighten it, and I think this should be enough. Okay, so this is the sketchy setup. It is indeed a sketchy setup, but you don't really have any other way to proceed for this type of setup of spring and shock. Again, shock is too short and the spring is a bit long, and you'll see why you need to have it preloaded like this. Next, you start do not overdo it on one side. Try to do it as symmetrically as possible. This is the end of the road for this one. Okay, you can't tighten it anymore. This is how far we've went with tightening the spring. I can't tighten this one anymore due to this flange connector. I would have more space on this one, but it's okay like this. Okay. Next, you take the shock absorber. As you can see, it sits flat onto the pavement. You have a hole over here, and then you have a notch, a metal notch on the shock absorber. The setup looks like this. The hole goes and catches the notch. This is the spring retaining notch. And you push this as well as you can, it will sit firmly, time passing by, and also after you've installed everything. Next thing to do is take the bump stop with the bottom, this part over here. And then you have this plastic test cap. It should sit something like this. You have to press it. And this is a two-man job right now. And you need to, okay, like I said, with the writing upside down, you take this rubber flange and this goes onto the top mount, something like that, and then wiggle everything into position. And take a 21mm socket with an external hex for external key. Take your time and follow the fact that the top nut doesn't cross thread. Don't use impact guns because you'll turn inside the shaft of the shock absorber, which is not allowed. And now I have to trick it back into position, tricking back the spring just so it falls into proper place somewhere around here. And then I have to take this, I think it's a 7mm hex. Yep, that's the one. I need the extension, and I also need to put the key on top. It all fell into place really nicely. Sorry, it's 19mm. And that's it. Now we just need to double check and see if everything fell into place. Again, watch for the spring to be in proper position. Rotate a bit if you want. Okay, and now it's time to undo the spring presses. Check that everything falls into the proper place. Guys, this is the finished product. We need to have in the same line the top mount. This is a Y-shaped, and this bigger foot needs to point in the same direction as the hub facing holes do. Okay, everything seems to be nicely mounted. It will sit better in the car, I assure you of that. And yeah, what can I say? Don't forget to install the plastic caps on the top side of the top strut mount. This will help you center the entire assembly into the vehicle, and also it will affect the camber and the geometry of the wheel alignment. It's very important that you buy new ones because the old ones break easily upon removal, and basically over the time they become become brittle and they can't be saved. Furthermore, the new top strut mounts come with oval holes, and as you can see, the new plastic caps have the oval holes. Of course, the old plastic caps fit into the oval holes because the round pins are in the same position, but if you don't save the old top hats, then you put the new plastic top hats inside. Let's see you in the installation on the vehicle. This is Alex Andrei Zaur. Thank you for watching, and hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Goodbye.